What's going on, you guys? Today's conversation is going to be about going from analog to digital. My generation, we come from an analog space where everything was outside, everything was outdoors. We had to ride bikes, get skateboards, figure out things to do. Literally, you go outside and there's nothing, there's no plans, and you guys had to figure something out, play kickball, football, steal stuff, whatever the case may be. We had to go outside and figure it out. And the internet didn't come around till like the 90s to my knowledge. And I was already like an adult, a young adult. I was an old teenager, a young adult. So I already had all my habits. I've already had a lot of knowledge of life. So when the internet came, it was cool, but it wasn't cool because I didn't know what to do with it. Then they made certain platforms like MySpace and other like Messenger, and you got to really communicate with people. But I was too kind of locked into being analog. I still was outside. So as years go by, here we are 2024, and I'm looking at a lot of social media activity. That's just like I can't believe a lot of it because it's almost insulting my intelligence. You know how people are just creating skits and everything is fake, and the gangster dudes are doing some corny shit, and it's just like it's just weird. It's a weird space for me to be in watching this stuff because you don't know what to believe. And I remember once upon a time, man, people had integrity, people had dignity, people stood for stuff, people had shame when they did something wrong, and to see things on the internet play out the way they do, it's like people don't have no shame, people don't have no integrity. And just because they want to get a paycheck and they want to be on some platform and you're being noticed, you're being, popular for the wrong reasons, but we have to understand and we have to accept the fact that these people are okay with that and these people are really like that. Some of my favorite rappers I see on social media and they're corny. The guys that I really love the music of, like in the 80s, 90s, even 2000s, I really admired their music. Their music really walked with life with me, walked through my life with me. So I always held them at a high regard, and to see them now on social media just be lames, it's just it's disappointing, but I know how to disconnect the human from the music, and I know how to still be a fan of the music that I once was. I don't want to corrupt myself and take away music from my, you know, archives, my life story because of who these guys turned out to be or who they've always been. I just never knew. Nonetheless, people my age still don't know really what to do with the internet. That's one thing that I understand is we come from an analog space. This is a digital space. And a lot of us don't know how to be on here. So a lot of us are goofballs on here. It's kind of like we're fascinated that the internet exists. We're fascinated that social media exists. Being on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok is cool and everything, but I'm realizing as I'm growing, especially in the business that I'm in, I'm understanding that social medias is just like being outside and being inside your yard, right? Social media is like playing inside your yard. You're not leaving your yard at all. That's how I see it. You guys may see it different. So you got to get off of these platforms, man, and do something else, or you have to do more. Add to these platforms with what you're doing, so that you can evolve and whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it's start a business, you're providing a service, photography, videography, whatever the case may be, you're a stripper, whatever you are, whatever you're trying to do, use your social media and use the internet, use the whole worldwide internet. I remember when internet first was introduced to us around the 90s, that to my knowledge, and it was like the World Wide Web, and it was scary, like this is going across the world. And now it's a tool to go across the world. We just have to learn how to use it, and we have to learn how to manipulate it to where it works for us. A lot of us are just pastiming, and if you guys are just on social media for pastime, then keep passing your time. I'm not here to judge. I'm coming from a business perspective. I'm trying to wiggle on this space. You guys are just chilling on this space. So there's, you know, it's real easy for somebody to take things personal. But we're just on two different paths, you know? That's it's just as simple as that. You go to the beach for the girls, I go to the beach to surf. Still we like to go to the beach, but we're on two different paths. So if you tell me about the girls, I'm not gonna be interested because I'm trying to surf, vice versa. So that's kind of what it's like. So the reason why I wanted to start this convo up is because I wanted you guys to really start to tune in to what's your purpose and who are you hanging around, who are you talking to every day, who are you communicating with in order to blossom this idea. If you want to keep past timing, then you're going to keep blossoming more people to pass time with. But if you're hustling on here, you're trying to conduct business on here, then you have to connect with other people who are on the same page. And there's a lot of people on here you'll find that's on the same page, but nobody communicates it. So everybody kind of like, it's like everybody's just kind of like isolated, yet we're in the same pot. I don't know if people are not knowledgeable, people are scared to talk, people are scared to share their experiences, but I'm not afraid of any of this shit because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. All that matters to me is me generating buyers. That's what matters. And the good relationships that I've formed along the way. I don't care about somebody saying, like, oh, well, he used to be up, now he's not. Well, I don't care about judgment, man. I don't care about any of that stuff. I really don't. I'm really just trying to figure myself out. Because once I figure it out and this shit goes into autopilot and I start winning like the way in the direction that I want to win, then I'm going to be on a different wave anyway. So I don't care what you're talking about. So this is just to encourage anybody and everybody really to start looking at the internet for the reasons that you can really benefit from it. Especially people my age. I'm 46, man. We come from an analog space. Internet is still kind of new, and a lot of us are just on the internet because it's something we're still wowed about. So, all right, we've been on the internet now a couple of years. See what you can do with it, man. See what you can do. See how you can wiggle. A lot of people are turning into content creators. Like I said, a lot of people are doing a lot of clown stuff just to get monetized. Just all of a sudden, everybody wants to be an actor, entertainer. That's cool for everybody, you know. Um, I'm just in a different space, so I'm focused on a different area. So my posts are always going to reflect things that I'm against and things that I'm for. And I don't have no problem expressing myself and saying any of these things, you know. And most of the time, it's never about a person specifically. Even if I don't like a person specifically, I'm not going to make them that important enough to critique them because they have the right to be who they are. I'm just going to critique what I'm not going to do. So, and if they're a reflection of what I'm not going to do, then I'm going to use that as an example to reference, you know, hey, this is not cool with me and this is how I'm going to walk, you know? But anyways, I just get on here, man. I try to show some kind of encouragement, man, because the internet doesn't really have that except for a bunch of content creators who are just saying things that they've copied from other spoken word persons and other positive books that they've read and positive quotes, and they've turned into content creators. Nobody's really organically getting on here and really sharing their testimony, man. You know, so that's kind of what I do. It's what I've always done. I'm not a spokesperson. I'm not a mentor. I'm not a big bro program activist. You know, I'm just a real person that's going through life, and you guys get to see a little bit of it. And whether you guys see it as a fail or not, I'm not interested in how you see it. I'm only interested in my experience and how I'm being okay to be transparent and giving it to you guys so that you guys can just see a different perspective. All right. I don't care about trying to be signed by no platform. I don't want to be on nobody's podcast. I've mentioned that 1,000 times. I don't care to be on any of that because no one's really doing what I'm doing. And it's okay with me. I like doing what I'm doing. I like being in my little corner. And I hope that you guys get something out of it, man, even if it's just one person. All right, you guys. So stay tuned for the next episode, man. Peace.